Hello students, I am Ms. Rasna Lakhotia, your biology teacher. So students, we were learning about morphology of flowering plants, isn't it? In the last video, we learned about morphology of root. Today we'll start with morphology of stem in this video. Okay, so you all know what stem is, isn't it? The aerial part of the plant body is collectively described as shoot system. Main axis of this shoot system is called the stem. Okay, and stem can be defined as the ascending part of the plant axis which develops from the plumule of the germinating seed. Okay, it is usually negatively hydrotropic, negatively geotropic. It means it moves away from water, away from land or soil, isn't it? And it is positively phototropic, that is, it grows towards the sun and it receives the sunlight, isn't it? It bears a terminal bud and axillary buds in the axils of leaves for growth. Okay, it is differentiated into nodes and internodes. At the nodes, it produces dissimilar organs such as leaves and flowers, and similar organs such as branches exogenously, that is originate from outer tissue. Okay, and the young stem is green and is capable of performing photosynthesis. So let's see the birds, okay, vegetative birds and the floral birds that is found on this stem. So what is vegetative bird? The birds which develop into branches are called vegetative birds. Those are apical birds located at the apex of stem, axillary birds located in the axils of leaves, accessory birds located on the sides of or above the axillary birds, and also adventitious birds located at areas other than nodes. Okay, and floral birds, these birds are the birds which develop into flowers. Okay, such birds are called floral birds. So what are the functions of stem? The primary function of stem are to produce and support lateral appendages such as branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. Also conduction of water and minerals to different parts of shoots and transport food to all plant parts. And the other functions are stem may, however, it may get modified. Like we studied, the roots got modified to perform various functions, isn't it? Similarly, stem may get modified to perform additional functions, okay, such as storage of food and water, for proliferation and propagation, for procuring support for climbing, for perennation, okay, that is to tide over unfavorable conditions, also for synthesis of food, that is to perform photosynthesis. Okay, the stems can be modified. So what are the various modifications of stems? One is underground in case of rhizome or tuber, corm, bulb. Okay, subaerial are the runner, stolon, offset, sucker. Okay, and aerial in the form of tendril, thorn, phylloclade, cladode, bulbil. Okay, these are the various modifications of stem. So let's see what are the underground modifications. So in many herbaceous plants, stems develop below the soil, okay, and is called underground stem. Such stem remains dormant during unfavorable conditions and gives off aerial shoots under favorable conditions. And these underground stems often store food and become fleshy. Underground stem perform three functions. One is storage of food, other is perennation, and the third one is vegetative propagation. Okay, and they can be differentiated from roots by stem like internal structure. Okay, how can you differentiate? Like these underground stems you will find under the ground. That is, generally roots are found under the grounds, isn't it? So how will you differentiate between root and stem? So they can be differentiated from roots by stem like internal structures. Okay, exogenous branching, presence of nodes and internodes. You know, roots doesn't have nodes and internodes, isn't it? But this underground stem will have nodes and internodes. Occurrence of foliage, leaves or scale leaves at the nodes with axillary buds. Okay, and also absence of root cap. You have studied that root has root cap at the tip, isn't it? But these stems, underground stems, will not have root cap. Okay, and that various underground modifications are rhizome. Okay, that is prostate, dorsiventral, thickened brownish stem which grows horizontally under the surface of the soil. In such, it shows distinct nodes and internodes. It poses a terminal bud and axillary buds in the axil of each scale leaf, okay, present at the node. And rhizome, it remains dormant under the soil, and at the onset of favorable conditions, the terminal bud grows into the aerial shoot, which dies at the end of the favorable season. So a rhizome, also there are other things that we have to learn about rhizome, is that growth of rhizome takes place horizontally with the help of lateral bud. Okay, such kind of rhizome is called sympodial rhizome. This is just for your information. Okay, you don't have to memorize all of these things, you just have to remember the examples and how can you differentiate root and stems. Okay, underground root and stems. So zinsser is kind of sympodial rhizome. Okay, also turmeric, canna, etc. They are the rhizomes. And in some plants, growth of rhizome occurs with the help of terminal bud. These are called monopodial rhizomes. Example, lotus, teres, okay, that is a fern. And the other modifications are the tuber, isn't it? You eat potato. So potato is the underground stem, a tuber. Okay, tubes are swollen. Okay, they are what are tubers? They are actually the swollen ends or tips of special swollen underground branches due to the storage of food like starch or carbohydrate. Okay, the tubers, they also show nodes and internodes, bear scale leaves with axillary buds, okay, commonly called as eye. And under favorable conditions, these eyes sprout and produce aerial shoots. So thus tubers help in vegetative propagation also. Tubers do not produce adventitious roots, thus they differ from rhizomes. Okay, example is potato, Solanum tuberosum. So other modification of stem is bulb. It is a condensed disc-like underground stem which itself does not store food material. The upper surface of disc-like stem is slightly conical and bears centrally placed apical bud and many concentrically arranged overlapping scale leaves. Okay, inner scale leaves or leaf bases store food and are thick and fleshy, while outer few scaly leaves remain thin and dry and are protective in function. Lower surface of disc-like stem, they produces adventitious roots. Okay, and the discoid stem with compactly arranged fleshy leaves above and fibrous roots below is commonly called bulb. Okay, it is almost spherical. When the fleshy scale leaves surround the apical bud in the form of concentric rings, it is called tunicated bulb, for example, onion. And sometimes they may partially overlap each other by their margins only. Such bulbs are called scaly bulbs. Example, garlic. Okay, and some aerial modifications of stem are stem tendril. Okay, if you have seen money plant or pea plant or quash plant, okay, they have tendrils for support. So it is a modification of stem in which axillary bud modifies to form a thin, wiry and highly sensitive structure called tendril. Tendrils help the plant to attach itself to the support and climb. They are found in plants with weak stem. Okay, generally the plants which are weaker, they have tendrils, okay, for support. The tendrils are leafless, coiled structures with sensitive adhesive glands for fixation. Okay, and an example of axillary tending is passiflora, that is passion flower. This much you can learn about the stem tendril. Okay, the other modification is thorn. Thorn is a hard, pointed, usually straight structure produced by modification of axillary bud. Okay, leaves, branches, and flowers, they are developed on thorns at the nodes, indicating that it is a modified stem. It provides protection against browsing animals. Okay, so its examples are citrus, bougainvillea, duranta, etc. And in Cariza, apical bud is modified into thorn. Okay, so this is about stem and their modifications. So in the next video we'll learn about leaf. Thank you.